Hello, welcome to LMU Tri-State News. I'm Ashley Hurley. Thank you for joining us. A very special exhibit is scheduled to open in conjunction with DreamWorks Studios titled Clouds and Darkness Surrounds Us, the life of Mary Todd Lincoln. The exhibit, featuring costumes from the DreamWorks film Lincoln, will open at the Abraham Lincoln Library and Museum on Thursday, February 12th at 2 o'clock. The exhibit will examine the tragic events of the life of Mary Todd Lincoln and how she found herself in the executive mansion, not so much as a first lady, but as a captive of circumstances beyond her control. This exhibit will give visitors a rare opportunity to enjoy history and Hollywood right here at home. Now, to tell us more about the exhibit is museum curator and assistant director Stephen Wilson.
This is a bodice and skirt that was worn by Sally Field in the movie Lincoln. It's very elaborate and it has some nice details on it that you would normally see on a person of wealth clothing and not so much on someone, let's say, like Elizabeth Keckley. She was the seamstress for Mary Todd, or the one who made her dresses. Her dress is much more plain, not as elaborate as Mary Todd's. Of course, as the First Lady, she'd wear something like that. We have some instructions on how to put this together on the mannequins, which is good. The whole process for DreamWorks took us about a year to put together, and it was a very complicated process as well because of the name, because of the company, and because of the history surrounding these garments. Now, one of the things we got, this is Mr. Lincoln's stovepipe hat, worn by Daniel Day-Lewis in the movie. This to go on the mannequin, along with his frock coat, slacks, shirt, just to give you an idea of what Lincoln, or Daniel Day-Lewis as Lincoln, wore during his tenure in the White House. It's going to be quite an exhibit. We have our own artifacts, including antiques associated with the White House. We have additional papers, documents, images, and then of course we have these things from an Academy Award-winning movie. So I'm pleased to be a part of it.
The exhibit will open as LMU celebrates Founders Day in honor of Lincoln's birth on February 12th. The temporary exhibit will be on display in Harrogate through November 20th of this year. The 8-year debate of whether there is a need to expand the Claiborne County Jail reached a final decision last Monday night with a go-ahead from a majority vote of Claiborne County Commissioners. We sat down with Claiborne County Sheriff David Ray, who tells us what finally led to this groundbreaking decision.
Study showed that there was over 240 average per day. We're certified and have been for 2 years for 212 people. This jail was built for 292 or 93. Due to the federal standards and the national standards, we put some additional beds back there, and we had room to do so without violating the standard of square foot of space for them to live and breathe in. That's what it amounts to. I can tell you what a federal judge is going to say. If the county don't take action, the federal judge says, well, I can increase your taxes very easily. And that I don't want to see. The people of county court don't want to see it. I'm against the building a jail, addition to this jail, if it costs the taxpayers an increase in their property taxes. It's not necessary. We can pay for this jail by good management and having federal prisoners and a few of our state prisoners that I'm sending on to Nashville. I wish they would take 25 or 30. They do not have a room for them. Another misconception from the public is that I think some of them have the thought that we're holding some of these for Bale County, or some of them for Knox County, some of them from East. Every person here that's a state prisoner committed a crime in this state. I am not going to turn my back on people that have had their home invaded like they did Sunday a week ago, beat up a 74-year-old woman. We caught them. A month ago, we caught the people in Harrods Quarter that beat up the two old elder people and robbed them. People that robbed the commercial bank in Speedsville, the people that broke into the dollar store. These people are hardened criminals. Each one of them have a criminal record. I'm not turning my back on law enforcement, And the bottom line is, should we forget about drugs? I hate to say it on camera, but it's coming. I haven't quit since I come in here. I'm about to pick up maybe 50, maybe 60, maybe 70 drug violators, people who are selling, dealing drugs in this county. Now, where am I going to put those 50, 60, 70 people if I've got an overcrowded jail?
The jail inspector for the Tennessee Corrections Institute spoke at the meeting, telling the commission that it has come down to the wire as to whether the Claiborne County Jail will retain its certification. The jail expansion passed with 13 commissioners voting yes and 8 voting no. We will continue to follow this story and bring you the latest information as it develops. Last week, we brought you the story about Tennessee Promise and how it is going to help Tennessee students go to college for 2 years. To find out more about what students need to do to keep the Tennessee Promise money, here's Director of Financial Aid, Brian Ursuline.
Complete a free application for federal student aid by February 15th. That's one piece. They have had to sign up for it back before, I think it was October 31st, I think was the deadline, and had to have to be signed up for that. They have to work. Community service. I believe that amount is 8 hours a semester, per semester. They have a requirement there. And then they have a mentor-mentee program where they meet with their Tennessee Promise mentor every so often to make sure they're on track for graduation and things of that nature. Okay. So those are some of the requirements in addition to just receiving the funds.
Now be sure to tune in next week when Brian tells us how the Tennessee Promise will affect your taxes right here in the state of Tennessee. Now, choosing somewhere to eat for lunch can be as tedious as doing the laundry, but the fact is it must be done. For students on campuses such as Lincoln Memorial University, you don't even have to travel off campus to find a nutritious lunch. You can simply visit the cafeteria. The cafeteria offers a wide variety of food choices, with many of those being much better than the choices that would be made at a fast food restaurant. Next week on LMU Tri-State News, we are going to explore the Lincoln Memorial University cafeteria and sit down with head nutritionist Adam Gould, who tells us about the nutrition choices right there in the cafeteria and how they can be helpful for both students and faculty, so be sure you tune in. Now, coming up after the break, we have more details on the Lincoln Memorial University Counseling Center and how it can help students choose the right career path for them. To find out more, keep it right here.
Join the Vive Broadband TV revolution. Vive gives you the freedom to choose with loads of new channels like Up TV, The Hub, The Blaze, and Cubo. Vive's Watch TV Everywhere feature gives you the freedom to watch participating channels just about anywhere, anytime, on any device. And Vive Broadband Speed gives you the freedom to power internet TV services like Netflix, Hulu, Apple TV, and Google Chromecast. Join the TV revolution at vivebroadband.com.
Don't worry, the 74 people were picked before me in the NFL draft.
To fight childhood obesity, United Way and the NFL are helping kids play at least 60 minutes a day.
Okay, time for the team obstacle course. Yay!
What this place needs is more healthy kids. To get involved or donate, go to unitedway.org/play60.
Now I get it.
If I got to go to college, oh my goodness. I like discovering new things. You get to see what works for you and what doesn't. That helps you evolve as a person. You get to make like a supernova of skill or talent or whatever it is. I've always wanted to go to college. I just feel like that's my destiny. My name is Queen, and I am your dividend.
Now, if you are a student and having a hard time deciding what you want to do after college, Dr. Ted Booth at the Lincoln Memorial University Counseling Center talks about how they can guide you in the right direction of choosing the right career path for you.
I see career services as kind of having two different parts. One deals with planning, which deals with career counseling, helping people decide a major, helping people try to find an internship. I kind of think of it as a little bit like guidance counseling a little bit. And then also I do career placement, which I track the placement rates of our recent graduates to see if they are successful, and we regard a success as being employed in a job that relates to their major within 6 months or being in graduate school within 6 months.
Dr. Booth isn't just there to help you choose your career path, he is also there to help you sharpen your skills with building a resume and also teaching you steps to be successful.
Well, I hope that it'll be a point where they can come in and in a no stress environment talk about the future with me, talk about maybe goals for the future, how they would like to achieve those. I feel like we have a lot of resources here to help them choose the correct grad school, to prepare correctly for grad school, and as well as prepare for job from day one, whether it be constructing a resume, doing a cover letter, or interview skills. So hopefully they'll find that we're a great place to come and learn about how to be successful.
If you happen to have questions for the Counseling Center, you can visit them in the Circle Room on the main level of Grant Lee. Each year, Hometown for Heroes out of Middlesboro hosts events to raise money along with awareness for post-traumatic stress disorder. The group is a nonprofit organization that hosts an annual event that includes a 5K, a fitness challenge, ATV ride, motorcycle ride, and concert. To tell us more about that event, here is the president of the organization, Todd Smith.
Every year we host different events. 5K walk run, a fitness challenge, a guided ATV ride. We've had a basketball tournament, and all the money and the proceeds from the events goes towards PTSD awareness. And this year we are going to try to raise enough money to train a dog to give to a local veteran with PTSD. Last year we gave over $2,000 to a Hero Foundation, and the year before we gave $2,000 to the Wounded Warrior Project.
If you would like more information on that event, you can contact Todd Smith on his Facebook page by searching Tommy Todd Smith or State Farm agent Chad Shannon at 606-242-4206, or you can visit his website at www.chadshannon.com. A trio was indicted by the Claiborne County Grand Jury following its January session. 40-year-old Jason Zink, 34-year-old Leslie Locklear, and 50-year-old Mary Ann Collins are indicted on several charges that stem from an alleged crime spree that took place in November. Zink and Locklear are facing 2 counts each of aggravated assault and aggravated robbery, and are also indicted on 1 count of vandalism over $500 and theft of property under $1,000. Collins was indicted on 1 count of theft of property under $1,000 and possession of drug paraphernalia. The indictment states the crimes were carried out on 2 victims in the case with the use of a deadly weapon. An indictment does not indicate guilt. It indicates that there was sufficient evidence presented to the grand jury to warrant sending the case to trial. The trial will take place in the upcoming months, and LMU Tri-State News will have the latest details. Even though there were no games on the home court here the past weekend, doesn't mean that the Rail Splitters weren't in play, right?
Basketball is in play. Even the spring sports have finally started. I know first week of February, but spring is here, even though it doesn't look like it outside.
Punxsutawney Phil saw a shadow.
Doesn't matter when it comes to sports. We'll have all the results as well as the Super Bowl when we return.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Right, mi cariño. So like I said, everything I learned about cooking, I learned from Grandma's empanadas. Shall we go again?
Yep.
Mix the beef with the onions with the peppers with the paprika with the garlic with the oregano with the cumin. Got it?
Got it.
Throw in the olives, stir, season, stir again, pour out the flour, roll out the dough, make a circle, drop in a fistful of filling, fold over, press down, and ta-da!
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
How can I help my daughter with her reading?
Searching for help with Dachshund Reading.
No.
Let me try. Sarah's bright, but when she's reading, she has trouble sounding out words.
Playing world music.
What?
I give up.
Wait, I was trying to show you how Sarah feels every day. Frustrating, isn't it? Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
The Rail Splitter and Lady Rail Splitter basketball team spent the final day of January in Hartsville, South Carolina on Saturday when they faced Coker. We'll start with the women's game, and LMU came into that contest still battling for a top 4 spot in the conference, which would give them a home quarterfinal matchup. LMU would hit the first basket of the game, but it was Coker who would control the first half, leading by as many as 12 before LMU chipped away and the two teams went to the locker room tied at halftime, 29-29. The two teams came out in the second half and went back and forth at each other, with neither gaining the upper hand until Coker took a 60-59 lead with 1 minute and 49 seconds left. The Cobras would hit most of their free throws down the stretch and would hold on for a 67-62 win. Shea Coker led LMU with 17 points, while Josie Harding recorded a double-double with 10 points and 13 rebounds. The ladies are now 11-9 on the season and 8-6 in conference play. The men's team knew going into their matchup with Coker that with a win, they could potentially become the new #1 team in the land after Indianapolis lost earlier in the week. However, Coker is a tough team, and they showed that on Saturday. The Cobras held the lead throughout the first 5 minutes before LMU's Lorenzo Ross hit a layup to give LMU their first lead at 9-7. The Rail Splitters would increase their first half lead to as much as 9 before the scrappy Cobras battled back to a halftime deficit of 1, 26-25. In the second half, LMU led wire to wire, but the Cobras made it interesting down the stretch before the Rail Splitters won 62-58. Keenan Peterson led LMU with a double-double effort of 19 points and 13 rebounds. The Rail Splitters are now 20-0 overall and 14-0 in conference play. LMU stands alone in Division II as the last unbeaten team. Now, both the Lady Rail Splitters and Rail Splitters will be at home on Wednesday night when they play host to the Carson Newman Eagles. The women will tip off at 6 p.m. with the men's game to follow at 8 p.m. LMU Sports Network coverage will start at 5:40 p.m. The two teams will be on the road on Saturday, February 7th in Newberry, South Carolina, as they'll face the Wolves of Newberry. Women will tip off at 2 p.m. with the men to follow at 4 p.m. Once again, LMU Sports Network coverage will start at 1:40 p.m. for this contest. The LMU baseball team got the 2015 season started over the weekend in Aiken, South Carolina, against the 14th nationally ranked Pacers of USC Aiken. It was a tough start to the season, and LMU fans will have to wait for that first win as the Rail Splitters lost 11-8 on Friday, 15-5 on Saturday, and 8-2 on Sunday to start the season 0-3. The Rail Splitters will stay on the road for a doubleheader against Claflin on Tuesday before coming home for their home opener on February 6th and 7th against Wingate. The Wingate game on the 6th will start at 4 p.m., and the game on the 7th is scheduled to start at 1 p.m. Now, you can check LMURailsplitters.com for updates in case of bad weather on those days. The LMU tennis teams also started their season over the weekend with wins. The LMU men beat the University of the Cumberlands 6-3, and the women beat the University of the Cumberlands 7-2. And finally, Super Bowl 49 is now in the books and will go down as one of the better games the Super Bowl has seen in memory, as the New England Patriots defeated the Seattle Seahawks 28-24 to win their 4th championship in 14 years. Quarterback Tom Brady was named Super Bowl MVP after going 37 of 50 for 328 yards and 4 touchdowns. Patriots safety Malcolm Butler saved the day for New England when he intercepted Russell Wilson at the goal line with 26 seconds to preserve the win for New England. Now that's all for sports. However, stay tuned. Joseph Lewis will have your box office results and more after this break.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed ours.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Latest information in the world of movies. Tops at the box office this weekend were led for the third week in a row by American Sniper, pulling in another $32 million toward what is now a nearly $250 million domestic gross. American Sniper is currently on track to become one of 2014's top 3 most financially successful films, eclipsed only by The Hunger Games: Mockingjay Part 1 and Guardians of the Galaxy. Following at number 2 was Paddington, up 1 slot from last week with $8.5 million. And rounding out the top 3 was the found-footage newcomer Project Almanac, starting its run with $8 million. Other new releases like Black or White and The Loft fared worse, taking $6 and $3 million respectively, while Mordecai continued to bomb with $1.4 million added to a truly shameful $7 million domestic gross. Perhaps most impressive in this weekend's box office was the Game of Thrones IMAX event, in which the final 2 episodes of the show's 4th season played on roughly 200 IMAX screens across America and managed to outgross several leftover hits from the holiday season with $1.5 million. Coming to theaters this week is Jupiter Ascending, the latest sci-fi action adventure from the Wachowskis, the innovative minds behind the Matrix trilogy and Cloud Atlas. Mila Kunis stars as Jupiter Jones, an earthbound caretaker who unknowingly happens to be one of 4 heirs to a powerful, genetically perfect alien dynasty. Enter Channing Tatum as Kane Wise, a planet-hopping warrior sent to Earth to reveal Jupiter's destiny and protect her from Eddie Redmayne's Balaam, a cunning and ruthless competitor for control of the dynasty. Between its chase-driven narrative and the grandeur of its visuals and special effects, the film will be a must-see for fans of the genre and the filmmakers. Jupiter Ascending opens this Friday, February 6th. Also opening this week is Seventh Son, a new fantasy outing based on Joseph Delaney's novel The Spook's Apprentice. The Chronicles of Narnia's Ben Barnes stars as Tom Ward, a rural farmer's boy taken in by Jeff Bridges as the mysterious John Gregory. Gregory is the area's local spook, a person tasked with protecting the area from all manner of witches, ghouls, and other supernatural forces, and seeing as how young Tom is the 7th son of a 7th son, he fits the bill. As Tom's training with Master Gregory gets underway, the town is rocked by the return of Julianne Moore's mother Malkin, widely known for being the most dangerous witch in the county. Although 7th Son's release has been delayed by over 2 years at this point, its unique story and the unintentional Big Lebowski reunion between Bridges and Moore make it one of this month's more intriguing affairs, and the film can be seen in theaters this Friday. Lastly opening this week is the SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, the latest escapade for Nickelodeon's good-hearted but slow-witted porous hero, and his first appearance on the big screen in 11 years. Still residing in the underwater town of Bikini Bottom and flipping burgers at the Krusty Krab as usual, SpongeBob finds the lives of himself and his friends threatened when a ruthless pirate named Burger Beard arrives and steals the fabled Krabby Patty recipe. From there, SpongeBob, Patrick, Sandy, Squidward, Mr. Krabs, and even Plankton travel to the surface to track down Burger Beard and save their town. Antonio Banderas plays Burger Beard's live-action counterpart, and Guns N' Roses guitarist Slash also makes an appearance as, well, we're really not sure. But for those curious or perhaps brave enough to find out for themselves, Sponge Out of Water begins playing nationwide this Friday, February 6th. That's all for this week in the world of movies. I'm Joseph Lewis, and we'll be back after these messages.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed our own.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
Looks like it's done.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. You can't see these microbes, but they might be there. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. And now she's holding on for dear life. Her kids can see she may have broke her knees. They still love her though she looks like she's attacked by killer bees. I'm allergic. Proof you don't have to be perfect to be the perfect parent.
Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
That is going to do it for this week's LMU Tri-State News Update.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Adam Haley.
And for everyone behind the scenes, I'm Ashley Hurley.